What is going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is Mattia, and today we have a prompt that I shared inside the Jubiscape, which is my Discord server. If you are not in it yet, you find it down below. And this is like an email that I give, a prompt that I give every day. Every day I give a different prompt, and members inside practice by writing the emails. This is a prompt that I sent a few days ago, and today I'm gonna be following this prompt and write an email from scratch, showing you the exact steps that I take when I go and write an email. Let's go. I made myself smaller because I think you want to see the email and not me, but let's go ahead and read the prompt. Write an email for a nutritionist trying to sell her 30-day fat to fit meal plan. Email must provide value and then pitch the product in a non-salesy way. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a type of email that I called valuable pitch email. Very important to, as I said, provide value, so build trust in your audience while actually selling something. The avatar is a woman between 32 and 45 years old who wants to lose fat to stay healthy and in shape. She already goes to the gym, but she's not seeing any result. It's very important every time you write an email to have the avatar clear in mind. If you write an email and you don't know you don't visualize the exact person this email is going to, you might write a perfect email, but for the wrong person. So the audience you're sending this email out to will not feel anything, any kind of feeling, all the angles you're using will be wrong, etc. So it's very important, first of all, to understand what you want to promote. Like what's the goal of the email? Okay, so first of all, what's the goal of the email? In this case, is both provide value and sell something. In this case, the 30-day fat fit meal plan in a non-salesy way. And then we need to have clear in mind our avatar. Our avatar in this case is a woman between 32 and 45 years old who wants to lose fat to stay healthy and in shape. She already goes to the gym, but she's not seeing any result. Now, what angle am I going to use? We're not going to use the training factor, the workout factor, because we're a nutritionist. We're not a fitness coach, okay? So we need to find an angle based on the nutrition. Something we can say is, for example, that without the good nutrition, the right nutrition, they'll never see results in the gym and they will never become healthy. That nutrition is 2/3 of the actual fitness progress. And if you don't know anything about this, when you get a prompt or when you get a client of which you don't know anything about that niche, the first thing you need to do is to research on that niche. So you go on ChatGPT and you look and you ask 20 questions on that topic, on that niche. So if you don't know, you land a trading client and you don't know anything about it, you go on ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT 20 questions on trading. What is trading? How does it work? How do you make profit? What do coaches do? Etc. 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 Because you need to write an email on any topic. You need to have an understanding about it, at least a basic understanding of it. And the more advanced you are, the better emails you're going to be able to write. The better emails you're going to be able to write based on your avatar and on your target audience, etc. etc. So that said, I already have some background on this niche, so I'm going to start. But if you don't know anything, you need to do some market research. So go on ChatGPT and ask it 20 questions about that niche. Let's start. First thing first, we need to write the subject line. So I generally write 10 subject lines and then I choose the one that I want. But in this case, let's write 3 to 5 because of course it would take me 10 minutes to write 10 maybe. So let's go with how I went from fat to fit at 41 years old. How I lost 6 kg of fat at 41 years old. The best way to lose fat in 30 days. In under 30 days. 30 days. Lost fat 4 years old. I went from fat to 4 years old. Okay, we had 4 down. How I went from fat to fit at 41 years old. I lost 5.7 kilograms of fat at 41 years old. Hmm. Okay, so we have 5 down. How I went from fat to fit at 41 years old. How I lost 5.7 kilograms of fat at 41 years old. How I lost 2.7 kilograms of fat in 27 days to 41 years old. The best way to lose fat in under 30 days. The number one way to lose fat in under 30 days. Okay, so we have 5. Let's eliminate the 2 that are the worst. I say the first one, from fat to fit, is just too general, okay? I just don't like, I like the other ones much better. And between the best way and the number one way, I say the number one way, but they're just because it's shorter. As you can see, it's a bit, the message is the same, but it's 2 characters shorter. And as you know, we prioritize shorter subject lines because they can fit in the screen of a phone when they get the notification. So let's take off the best way to lose fat in under 30 days. Now, I already know that the best ones here are between the first and the second one. So we can already go on and take off the third one, because the first 2 are definitely better than that one. How I lost 5.7 kilograms of fat at 41 years old, or how I lost 2.7 kilograms of fat in 27 days at 41 years old. One big important thing that you can notice in both is that they are both very specific, ultra specific emails, like ultra specific subject lines. 5.7, 41, 2.7, 27 days, 41, okay? Very specific numbers that make the email sound much, much more real. And that's very important. In this case, this is more real because 2.7 kilograms of fat in 27 days. Now, the 41 years old is evitable, okay? In 27 days, these by itself could be a subject line. What is the difference between these 2? Here is in case our audience doesn't know how old we are. So if we're writing this email to an audience that doesn't know for a fact that we are 41 or in that age category, they need to know, or they won't listen to you. While if they already know we are, 41 years old, there's no need to repeating it because they are already gonna listen to it either way. I like this type better than the first one because it's much more specific. 2.7 kilograms in 27 days. Maybe it sounds even a bit too perfect because 2.7 in 27, let's do 2.8 in 27 days. And let's take off the first one. So this is our email. Both ways, whether we use these or these, it depends on the audience, but both of them work. Of course, the shorter it is, as I said, let's check how many words, how many characters. Okay, it's perfect. This would be the perfect length. 35 characters fit in the phone screen. So 35 would be perfect. But in case the audience doesn't know you, we can use the 41 years old. Or maybe not. Let's start with the email and I'll tell you what I mean by maybe not. Subject line, okay. So we have the subject line down. What we could do, if we don't want to use the at 41 years old, this is what we could do. I thought that losing, like we could integrate the 41-year-old thing in the hook in a way that they can see it already in the notification, so they know we're 41 and they're going to open the email. So I thought that so we're kind of killing a myth. It's a very good way to start an email, a hook, to hook people. Say something controversial. So I always thought that losing fat, getting in shape after Getting in shape after a certain age was impossible. However, everyone told me that getting in shape at 41 years old was impossible. However, I managed to prove every we don't want to repeat everyone, so let's start with the a lot of people, something like that. A lot of people told me that getting a lot of people doesn't sound good. They told me, let's say they, it's a bit more general. They told me that getting in shape at 41 years old was impossible. However, I managed to prove everybody wrong. I decided, however, I proved everybody wrong. Now, this is already a good hook. These first two lines are very powerful. Hey, first name, they told me that getting in shape at 41 years old was impossible. However, I managed to prove everybody wrong. That's right. Nobody believed me when I told them, when I showed them the results after only 27 days. Minus 2.8 kilograms, and we would like to use something more very specific, like 2.8 kilograms of fat and something like centimeters wise. For example, like the waistline is 3 centimeters narrower, something like that. Minus 2.8 kilograms of fat and a 3 centimeter more narrow waistline. Crazy, right? That's right, nobody believed me when I showed them the results after only 27 days. Minus 2.8 kilograms of fat and a 3 centimeters more narrow waistline. 27 days. Minus 2.8 kilo, crazy, right? I bet by now we want to find a way to go from the hook into the body. So we need to let's use a question. I bet by now you're probably asking yourself, you're probably wondering how I did it. So let's not talk about the results I achieved, but about how I achieved them. Okay, this is a good line. Let's read it all. They told me that getting in shape at 41 years old was impossible. However, I managed to prove everybody wrong. That's right, nobody believed me when I showed them the results after only 27 days. Minus 2.8 kilograms of fat and 3 centimeter, I don't know if I can say narrower. See, sometimes I need to check. Translator. Can actually, let's look. Can I say narrower? As far narrower or more narrow? Okay, we can use both. Now, which one does sound better? A 3 centimeter more narrow, a 3 centimeter narrower. 3 centimeter narrower waistline, more narrower waistline. Yeah, crazy, right? I bet now you're probably wondering how I did it. So let's not talk about the results I achieved, but about. So let's not talk about the results I achieved, but about how I achieved them. And now we can go in the steps. We need to provide value, so let's actually provide some value with some actionable step. Step R1. I stopped eating processed sugars. Okay. Step R2. I stopped eating fruit right eating fruit 2 hours after every meal. Actually, let's say I stopped eating fruit. Right after a meal, after my meals. And let's add one more step. It's all about, of course, we want to use nutrition-based steps, because if not, they're going to be just not related to the product we're pitching. So we already have 2 good things, and now we need to find something original, because remember, if people feel like they've already seen that stuff, they're not gonna read it or anything. I stopped, right? I stopped drinking calories. Okay, here we're gonna say that calories are much easier to digest. Like calories, you can introduce much more calories if you drink like a shake instead of eating something, because eating stuff fills you up more, so you eat less and you lose more weight. Okay, this is actually a good one. It's a good. We could actually put this first, because it's gonna hook them into, gonna make them curious. If they're curious about the first, they're gonna be reading also the other 2. While if the first one is already similar to something they've already read, they won't really keep reading it. So step number 1, I stopped drinking calories. Step number 2, I stopped eating fruit right after my meals. And step 3, I stopped eating processed sugars. Now, here in the middle, between one and the other, we could add a little description of our tip. Okay, so for example, why I stopped drinking calories, and I explain that chewing food makes you feel more full at the end of a meal, like in a few lines, just to give a little explanation of the step. Because like this, okay, it's still value, but we kind of want to explain it a little bit. Here, I stopped eating fruit right after my meal. We say eating fruit. I learned that eating fruit right after my meal made it harder for my food to digest, and made me feel more heavy at the end of a meal, which something like that. Okay, and the last one, step number 3, I stopped eating processed sugars, and you say your explanation for that. Okay, so you do research on your market, and when you say something like this, you then explain it in a couple of lines to really sum it up, really, just to give them a little more of value. So after, let's say, here I should ask ChatGPT some stuff because, of course, I'm out of my comfort zone right now. This is not my niche at all. This is not my niche at all. So what I should do right now, but I'm not going to do it live, is I should go on ChatGPT and ask why is eating fruit. I just know this stuff is true, but I don't really know the explanation. So I go on ChatGPT and I say why eating is better than drinking a protein shake to lose weight and stuff like that. It's gonna give me an explanation. I take an idea, and then I turn it into a few lines of copy just to explain it better. But you get the idea. And now we're gonna go into the ending of the email. Just by implementing these 3 little hacks into my dietary habits, I've been able to do, actually, let's say these are only some of the that I implemented, because right now we want to go into the offer, so we want to then turn it into, in case you want to know more, here's my full 30-day, etc., etc. So so if you are struggling, these 3 hacks alone allowed me to lose weight as fast as possible while never starve for food, while never these 3 X alone allowed me to lose weight as fast as possible while not having to renounce on my favorite foods. The 3X alone, okay, so we have, hey, first name, told me that getting in shape at 41-year-old was impossible. However, I managed to prove everybody wrong. That's right. Nobody believed me when I showed them that the result. Nobody believed me when I showed them the results after only 27 days of following my new diet. Minus 2.8 kilograms of fat and a 3 centimeter narrower waistline. It's probably not enough 3. Let's go with a 5. Crazy, right? I bet by now you're probably wondering how I did it. So let's not talk about the results I achieved, but about how I achieved them. Step number 1, I stopped drinking calories, I stopped eating fruit right after my meals, and I stopped eating processed sugars. These 3 X alone allow me to lose weight as faster than ever. To lose a substantial amount of fat while not having to renounce to pass on my favorite foods. So first name, don't believe who says that to deal that you're too old to get in shape, and prove them wrong with these 3 simple steps. You got this. Because we need to remember also to use a tone, a feminine tone, because we're always talking. You need to remember who we're talking for. We're talking for a nutritionist, which is a woman, trying to sell her 32 to 45-year-old women. So we can't just talk like we talk to a man. We can't talk like in a rude way. We can't cuss. And for example, this last sentence I've added is such a feminine sentence. You add this for women. I've never added something like this when I send out emails for a man, or I would never do that because we don't say that. While a woman could say that. So we added that because we need to embrace and get into the role of the person we are talking for, we are speaking for. With the moment we write an email for someone, we're speaking in their behalf. So we need to speak like them and relate to the audience we're talking to the avatar we're talking to. So let's read this email real fast, and then we're going to add the offer. Hey, first name. They told me that getting in shape at 41 years old was impossible. However, I managed to prove everybody wrong. That's right. Nobody believed me when I showed them the results after only 27 days of following my new diet. Minus 2.8 kilograms of fat and 5 centimeters narrower waistline. Crazy, right? I bet by now you're probably wondering how I did. So let's not talk about the results I achieved, but about how I achieved them. Step number 1, I stopped drinking calories, blah, 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 blah. Step number 2, I stopped eating fruit right after my meals, da, 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 da. Step number 3, I stopped eating processed sugars, da, 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 da. These 3 hacks alone allowed me to lose a substantial amount of fat while not having to pass on my favorite foods. So, first name, don't believe who says that you are too old to get in shape, and prove them wrong with 3 simple steps. You got this. Okay, now we want to pitch them our product. We just provide them all of the value. Now we want to give them the 30-day Fat to Fit meal plan. And we could say, you work out consistently, but nothing seems, but you can't get in shape, but still can get in shape. Click here and grab my 30-day Fat to Fit meal plan. Click here, Fat to Fit meal plan. Nope. This one. Okay. Here we're gonna put it, Fat to Fit meal plan. Cool. Okay, so you see, now here we're gonna do a sign off, of course. Sign off. See how it's simple. We provided them value, and then without being salesy, we said you work out consistently but still can get in shape. Click here and grab my 30-day Fat to Fit meal plan. Is it salesy? No, we just provided them value. We just gave them 3 actionable steps that are proven to work. We're not giving them some shitty value. We gave them some actual value. And on top of that, we're going to say, if you work out, because remember, our avatar goes to the gym but is not seeing any results. So that's why I added that. Click here, you work out consistently but still can get in shape. Click here and grab my, you see, I use the word grab like it's something easy. You just, use your arm, your hand, and you grab it very simply. Click here and grab my 30-day Fat to Fit meal plan. Yeah, simple. Or we could do, you at the same time, we could put these in our PS. It would be the same exact thing. Instead of doing that, we do PS. PS, work out consistently but still can get in shape. Click here and grab my 30 if it's the same. You could do either here or here. But as you've seen, it's not salesy because for the most of it, we provided value. And then for a little part of it, we simply we just told them, in case you're in that scenario, in case you work out consistently but still can get in shape, click here and grab my 30-day fit to fat meal plan. It's a simple way to sell, get people where you want as a copywriter while not being salesy. So that's all for this email. It was a kind of a tough email for me because I don't know much about this niche. So I kind of had to think about it very well. I needed to use, I needed to think about everything I said because it's not a topic that I'm comfortable with it. But at the same time, that's exactly why I did it. Because I give the prompts that I give inside the Jubiscape are prompts that are not meant to be easy. I'm giving every day a different prompt on a different topic, exactly because you could get any type of client. So you need to be more knowledgeable on any topic. So that's why, even though this topic wasn't my go-to topic and I didn't know basically anything about it because I'm not a woman between 32 or 41, I'm not a woman in general, I'm a skinny, I go from skinny to muscular, not from fat to fit. I'm really the opposite. I don't know anything about this. I had to talk in the best of a woman, so it was a completely different style from mine, but still I had to apply my copywriting knowledge to this. And the hardest thing to do in copywriting every time is to adapt your tone. And in this email, I think I've done it pretty well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you out somehow. If so, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Leave a comment. I really like when people leave the comments saying they liked it and what they liked about it. And if you want, you can join the Jubiscape. It's down here below. And if not, it's fine. Less value for you. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video.